whether allocable, non-allocable, nakakuha kayo ng kickback.
Wala po.
And the fact is, nandito tayo ngayon dito sa hearing because for the last 4 years, pinabayaan yung nangyayari to under your watch. You're the secretary of the
3 years, Your
DPWH.
Honor.
O 3 years, 2 years, 3 years. Secretary kayo ng DPWH. May mga ghost projects. May 20-25% nangyayari sa ilalim po ng inyong opisina. Kaya ako ho, personally, ako naniniwala po ako dito eh. Paano ho isang secretary palalampasin nyo itong nangyayari sa atin? Kaya ho tayo nandito sa ganitong sitwasyon ngayon eh. Ano nyo, hindi ko ho makita. Sa Bulacan, sa Davao Oriental, may ghost project. Lahat ng kasama nyo, alam in 2025 na kickback na nangyari. Kayo lang hindi nakakaalam eh.
Your Honor, I was the one actually who reported to the President where the ghost projects are in 2025.
Nung pumutok na ho to, nung nag-privilege speech na Senator Lacson dito
Hindi
sa
po.
Senado. But throughout the years na pumupunta ho kayo dito, wala naman kaming naririnig na may problema. Kasi in my opinion, kasali ho kayo dito. Nakaka-frustrate, no? Na nandito tayo ngayon, pinakikinggan natin to. Dapat ang pinakikinggan ho natin kung paano po umunlad yung bansa ho natin. Pero dahil po sa inyong masamang liderato, nandito tayo ngayon. Inaayos ho natin, hinahanap po natin sino yung mga kriminal. Hindi pa ho natin mahanap dahil nasa Portugal na nagtatago. Bakit niyo ho pinabayaan? Yun ang aking sentimento.
Thank you. Senator Win Gatchalian is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Maraming salamat po. Mr. Chairman, I'll just continue the topic of the coordinates. Ito kay Yusek Bernabe o kay Yusek Bisnar. Actually, dapat walang pagpapalit ng coordinates. Dahil I'm reading itong National Budget Memorandum 153 dated 2027-2004. Ito yung connected to sa budget call. No? Buti andito si Secretary Toledo. Na very clear na dapat ang project ay shovel/implementation ready. No? So ibig sabihin pag binigyan ng pondo, implement na kaagad. No? And dito sa National Budget Memorandum 154, nakasulat rin ang ibig sabihin ng shovel/implementation readiness, may feasibility study, may detailed engineering, may merong right-of-way acquisition, etc., etc. So, ibig sabihin may detalye. Alam na kung saan itatayo, saan na igagawa, at dahil alam nila, meron na silang coordinates. Pero kanina, pinakita nyo yung mga yung actual nila, 2 kilometers, baka iba pa nga, more than 2 kilometers. So, paano nagkaganon? Kung implementation ready, at meron ng feasibility study, meron ng detailed engineering design, at ang layo nung proposed at ang layo nung actual. Paano nagkaganon?
Yes po. Tama po kayo, Mr. Chair. No? Kaya nga po, may mga reforms po kami para maiwasan itong mga human intervention sa paglagay ng mga coordinates. Yung pong sa MIPS coordinates, as you mentioned, Mr. Chair, ito nga po yung sa planning stage. No? Ideally po, yung coordinates mo sa planning and sa implementation ay bangga. However, for various reasons, either nga po yung sinasabi ni Sec. Bernardo na lumipat yung ilog, o kaya po mayroong mga right-of-way issue, or kung ano naman po, for various reasons, minsan po yung ating mga contractor, gagawin na lang sa ibang lugar. And usually po meron dapat yan proseso. Either ma-modify mo yung coordinate, mga ganyan po. No? And sapagkat baka yan po yung hindi na nagagawa. So yun din po yung part ng aming validation, whether kahit na ba merong construction sa ibang coordinates, if that was properly done, sumunod sa proseso, meron pong justification, etc.
Iko-connect ko yan dahil nag-budget call na, diba, Secretary Toledo? Nag-umpisa na ang budget call for 2027. So, I'm expecting babalik ang flood control sa 2027 budget. Diba? So, anong reforms ang ginagawa ninyo para ma-assure kami dito na pag bumalik yung flood control projects, hindi na maulit na ni coordinates, hindi na susundan. Yung coordinates kasi basic yun eh. Diba? And in this 2026 budget, and I think DPWH, meron ng mga station numbers tayo linagay, diba? Lahat ng project. But ngayon, dahil nga sinasabi nyo pwedeng mag-move yung coordinates at station numbers, medyo nag-aalangan ako na kahit ilagay natin sa GA, in actual, iba naman yung lalabas. Ang problema doon is validation. Kaya naririnig ko kanina na out of the 420 plus projects, 14 lang pala yung actual na ghost project because nailipat yung actual coordinates. So how do we prevent something like that to happen again in 2027? Dahil ang gusto natin, pag print na sa libro, yun na talaga. Kasi yun naman yung guidelines eh. Nakasulat doon, shovel ready. May feasibility study, may work program. At para magawa mo yung work program, dapat meron kang actual survey. Di ba?
Tama po, Mr. Chair, no? Babalik po talaga tayo sa proper planning. Kapag po kasi yung proyekto ay naplano na maayos, dumaan po sa tamang proseso, meron ka ng mga recommendations from the, in this case po, yung ating mga panel of experts na for the master plan ng flood control. Dapat po, kung ano po yung inyong pinlano, ano po inyong sinubmit sa central office for NEP, yun na po talaga yung sundin. No? I guess yung dati po, baka po yan sa kakulangan ng pagplano, kaya po para na lang may habol yung proyekto, gagawa ng coordinates, pagdating sa baba, iba pala yung actual, re-remedyohan na lang po. So it comes down to proper planning and proper implementation po, Mr. Chair.
So ibig sabihin yung coordinates, kahit na hindi pa yun yung actual projects, ginagawa na lang for the sake na may malagay sa budget.
Posible po, Mr. Chair. Posible po.
Hindi naman pwede yun dahil kung ganun, hindi based on need yun ating budget. Diba? Parang dinodoktor lang yung coordinates eh. Para malagyan lang ng pondo. Tama?
Posible po, Mr. Chair.
At yan naman yung aking gustong i-flag sa DBM because last year when we had our DBCC hearing, hindi katanggap-tanggap yung sinagot ni former Secretary Pangandaman na sinusubo na lang sa kanilang ng DPWH tapos ilalagay sa NEP. So, ang DBM being the gatekeeper of our budget, kung isusubo sa inyo basura, bibigay nyo rin sa amin basura. So, ang tanong ko, first sa DPWH, you said may reforms. Ano itong mga reforms na ginagawa ninyo? At how will this translate to the itong consolidation ng DBM na ginagawa? And maybe si Secretary Toledo can answer to that. No? So para hindi ang punto ko lang naman, we're trying to avoid what happened in the past. At in-expect ko kasi babalik ang flood control projects this 2027, di ba? So, notorious ngayon na gumagalaw pala yung coordinates. Yung iba, hindi pa kompleto yung description. So, anong reforms ang ginagawa ng DPWH?
Yes, Mr. Chair. No? Ngayon po, meron po kami dinidevelop na app. No? Ito na po yung unified application wherein the coordinates from the planning stage and the coordinates for the actual ay isang mapa na lang po yung ginagamit. Unlike po ngayon nangyari before, ito pong MIPS na coordinates mo, pagdating po ng PCMA, mayroon ka pong bagong coordinates for the actual, hindi na po sila nag-uusap, hindi na po nababago yung coordinates sa MIPS kahit po iba yung pinaglagyan mo. So what we are developing now is a unified map kung saan po pinlat yung sa planning mo, doon na rin po lalabas ngayon yung actual. And we can see already from just looking at it whether may overlap, whether umurong, and the reasons therefore, Sir Chair.
That will be submitted to DBM. Tama? Kasi para sila magko-consolidate sa NEP eh. Correct?
Yung app po na yun, it will be open to all. For viewing din po siya, no? Pa-transparent po siya. Pero yun pong coordinates na yun, ang ating pong gusto mangyari, isa na lang nga po. Unless, except for legitimate reasons, justifiable reasons, kung bakit po uurong yung coordinates.
Oo nga, but in the project description, kasama na doon.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
That will be submitted to DBM.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And to Secretary Toledo, what reforms is DBM undertaking? Kasi last time, hindi maganda yung sagot eh. No? And kaya tayo nandito ngayon. No? Because sinubo sa inyo, kung ano man yung sinubo sa inyo, kaya tayo nandito sa problemang ito.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, good afternoon. So, yes, true that we have already released the budget call for 2027, that is NBM 156. Yes, the reforms that we want to implement for 2027 budget preparation is, one is very important, Mr. Chair, is to have this RDC approval of the projects that should be implemented at the regional level. So dapat may confirmation and even endorsement from the RDC. Okay. Second is for infrastructure agencies, Tier 1 must already be supported by a list of projects. Okay. Kailangan may listahan na po tayo ng projects as far as the Tier 1 and Tier 2. Now, failure to comply with that submission of complete and accurate set of what we call the BP forms, yung project profile and supporting documents, it will now be, of course, automatically limited to budgetary requirements or allocation for Tier 1s. As a matter of fact, Mr. Chair, initial meeting already discussed with the DPWH on what are the reforms to be undertaken. Nag-usap na po kami, and these are some of the initiatives that we've been implementing for this 2027 budget preparation.
In other words, how do you now evaluate whether a project is shovel-ready? Because nasa circular nyo ito many years na dapat shovel-ready siya. Dapat implementation-ready siya. Pero hindi naman ganun ang nangyayari. No? Because pinapalitan pa nila on the ground eh. Now, how can it be implementation-ready if you can change yung pinaka-basic niya, location where to construct that project?
Okay. So with that, Mr. Chair, we'll be strict in that area wherein dapat yung listahan nila hindi nagbabago. And as I mentioned, it should be endorsed by the RDC. Kasi sa RDC po, may prosesong ginagawa po doon that including the civil society organization, may partner po tayo, even the local government units, and even the regional offices of the different departments have this member of the RDC. So, yan po yung atin to be strictly implemented as far as the submission of the requirements and not just filling up of the forms but compliance to the form, particularly on the RDC endorsement, at the same time yung CSO endorsement also, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Secretary Toledo, no, kindly educate us. Kasi pag kinakausap namin yung mga governors who also compose the RDC, di ba?
Yes.
Off yung timing, yung budget call nauna kaysa doon sa submission ng regional development plan. So how would you synchronize? Kung tapos na yung budget call, wala pa yung RDC, how can you rely on the RDC plans, regional development plans, kung late sila nagsasubmit and they're not even ahead of the budget call? Kasi yung budget call starts from January to March or April. March, di ba? Pero yung RDC, natatapos sila mga August, September, minsan October. So how can you rely now on the input or output ng mga regional development councils kung nauna kayo?
Okay. Mr. Chair, based sa bawat budget call po, may naka-indicative budget preparation calendar po doon. And nakalagay po doon, right now we issue January, we issue the budget call. Ang nakalagay po dito, may nakalagay po tayong mga coordination na ginagawa in terms of sa mga ating RDC, which basically, under this calendar, indicative lang po, February ang nangyayari po yung RDC coordination po. So, nandun pa rin po siya sa
Yes,
sa
pero wala
indicative
pa silang
ceiling.
final regional development plans in February.
It should have been...
Indicative lang.
Yes, Mr. Chair. But syempre po, we have to include that already at dapat makonsider na po yan. Kasi if ever, madidelay po tayo ng pagsubmit ng ating budget.
My point is, i-synchronize ninyo.
Yes.
Dapat final yung regional development plans based on the submissions of the provincial, city, municipal, even barangay development plans. I-consolidate, pero that should come ahead of the budget call.
Mr.
Diba?
Chair, interjection po on this
Yeah,
point.
hintayin ko lang muna sagot.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Di ba dapat ganon?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Because as early as first quarter po, we already issued this one, or January, since it's early January. Kaya alam na rin po nila yung supposed to be the process, Mr. Chair.
Ko pa rin makuha na hindi sila synchronized. Sabi nyo, magre-rely kayo sa RDC submission. Anong re-relyan nyo kung hindi pa sila tapos? Sa regional development plans. I'm all for that, kasi ito yung lagi yung pinilaban na dapat may consultation sa mga local development councils.
Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Chair, ang RDC process naman or yung pagpaplano, it will not start naman right after or once we issue the budget call. Dapat ginagawa na po yan even before the issuance of the budget call. So we're just saying that the consultation or the Regional Development Council consultation should have been done in February during the budget preparation
Exactly
cycle.
my point. Alam nyo, para hindi rin magulo, kasi yung mga congressmen, district representatives, they are represented even in the barangay development councils.
Yeah.
More so sa city, municipal, and provincial.
Okay.
They can attend eh. Doon sila makipagbakbakan ano ba yung tulay sa district nila na gusto nila ipagawa.
Okay.
Para pagpasok sa NEP, pagdating ng budget call, naka-incorporate na. Ang trabaho nila ngayon, pagdating sa Congress, bantayan yung kanilang yung
Endorse.
projects na naka-incorporate sa kanilang local development plans, di ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Kaya nagkakaroon ng mga
Yeah.
insertions na walang consultation sa mga agencies implementing. Kasi nga, hindi kasali yung kanilang mga projects eh.
Okay, Mr. Chair. Yes, noted that on Mr.
Yeah.
Chair. We will also coordinate with the DepDep because they are the secretary
Correct.
of the RDC, Mr.
Correct.
Chair.
Thank you.
As far as planning is concerned. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Mr.
Senator Risa.
Chair. Salamat, Mr. Chair. Regarding dun sa synchronization na tinatanong ng Chair sa DBM, naalala ko nga po nung pinasa natin yung batas tungkol sa DepDev, which succeeded the NEDA, na meron po silang vetting at saka even some kind of veto power over certain kinds of projects. Baka pwedeng makahingi, Mr. Chair, ang komite natin ng input from DepDev, paano sila timely maka-input, maka-intervene doon sa mga, lalo na yung mga major infra, including flood control projects, na eventually ipapasok ng executive sa NEP. Para hindi rin po sila mahuli sa consolidate ng DBM sa lahat ng budget requests ng mga department. So, for the record, Mr. Chair,
Thank you.
salamat po.
Back to Senator Sherwin.
Thank you for those interventions, Senator Risa, Senator Lacson, Chairman. Secretary Toledo, ang punto dito is, number one, timing. Talagang may off yung timing ng RDC. Kaya nagiging complication yan. Maraming mga governor, may mga projects sila, pero hindi nila nasa-submit on time kasi nga yung timing off. So tignan nyo yung timing. No, dahil kung gusto ho na talaga natin yung totoong bottoms up na galing sa RDC, you need to fix the timing. And then number two, strict implementation, Secretary, dahil matagal ko nang nakikita sa inyong budget circular yung shovel ready, implementation ready. Pero hindi naman, wala naman hong sumusunod. No? Walang sumusunod sa shovel ready. In fact, ang totoong nangyayari, Secretary Bernabe, is hinahabol yung pondo. Rather yung pondo humahabol sa project. So ibig sabihin, dahil ng pondo doon, gagawa na lang kahit wala pang mga accurate na coordinates para lang malagay sa NEP. Pag nalagay na sa NEP, at least may budget na on the ground babaguhin. Kaya ang layo, nakita ko sa presentation nyo kanina, 2 kilometers ang difference. Mabuti kung ang difference, konti lang. Almost more than 86%, more than 50 meters. Iba, mas malayo pa. So, nagiging lokohan lang yung sinasubmit nyo sa DBM. Para lang magkapondo. Yun lang hinahabol, para magkapondo. Tama po ba?
Mr. Chair, perhaps po sa iba pong mga items, posible po na ganyan po ang nangyayari
I think
po.
tama yun kasi yun rin yung nasa affidavit ni Yusek Bernardo na binasa ko ulit na mayroong pondo tapos pinasa-submit yung mga RD para punuan yung pondo. Yung listahan. So ibig sabihin hinahabol yung pondo No, hindi yung project ang hinahabol ng pondo.
Long and short, contractor friendly.
parang tama ho kayo, Chairman. No? Kasi may kausap ng contractor rin po yung mga quote-unquote proponent. No, my point of the matter, Yusek Bernabe, is padating na ulit 2020, actually, ang bilis nga, padating na yung 2027 budget. And we cannot, hindi natin pwedeng gawin yung ginawa natin noong 2026 na naglilinis tayo. Kaya na-delay ho yung budget because sa paglilinis ng project. So dapat ngayon pa lang maayos na yung submission to DBM para pag-submit sa amin, maayos na rin. No, that's the point I'm trying to make.
I agree, Mr. Chair. We agree totally, and we will ensure that the coordinates and the plans are verified by the RDs, by the DEs, para po may accountability when they submit plans that are not implementable or later on babaguhin, or yun nga po yung nabagit yung nagawa-gawa lang po.
And mind you, Senator Win, pardon my intervention again. Sa kabila ng pagkahigpit-higpit nyo at pag-handle hanggang sa BICAM, may nakalusot pa rin, may nasili pa rin kami, may desilting, meron pa rin flood control na 100 million in the 2026 budget. So this is not to put you on the spot, pero hindi ka naman Superman para makita lahat yan. But I'm telling you, may nakita pa rin kaming 100 million na flood control. Ang sabi ng DPWH, zero flood control. In spite of that, mukhang nasingitan pa rin kayo sa BICAM.
Meron kasing Senping na yung napapoint out nyo rin, yung Basic Infrastructure Program. May mga titles doon na very vague. No? For example, yung Basic Infrastructure Program, tsaka yung isa yung Convergence, na hindi, even kayo, hindi nyo rin masagot kung ano yun Tama po ba?
Tama, Mr. Chair. No? Tama
Kung
po.
hindi mo masagot ng DPWH, kung hindi nyo maintindihan kayo mismo, paano namin maintindihan ho yun?
Kaya po, Mr. Chair, we really commend po yung through your leadership during the committee noon pong ating nilinis ang budget ng DPWH. Moving forward nga po, maganda nga po rin nakalagay na sa line item. Yun po mga coordinates, yun po mga station numbers. That way, hindi na po pwede mag-deviate from what was planned, and hindi na po ma-alter yung programa.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman.
Your Honor, Mr. Chair, if I just can add, habang ongoing sir yung validation nitong 30,000 flood control projects, ang isa pong direction ni Secretary is i-map out na po itong 30,000 na to para pong makita po natin ano po pa yung gaps na pwedeng paglagyan in the future po. Thank you, Your Honor.
Now, relevant question. How will you deal now with the substandard and ghost projects? Nandyan yan.
Yes po.
Anong pondo gagamitin nyo para i-correct yung naging substandard? Palagay ko, mas mahirap gawin yung substandard kasi aayusin pa yan. Kesa doon sa ghost, that's another
Yes, Your
problem
Honor.
altogether. How will you deal with it? Saan kayo kukuha ng pondo?
Diyan po, isa pong example tungkol sa Kalumpit, Bulacan, Your Honor. Pinuntahan po namin ni Secretary yan, and doon po talagang may mga ghost projects. The problem about it, sir, Your Honor, is tama po yun na may mga ghost po doon. Ngayon po, ang pina-find out, paano pa rin po malalagyan ng flood control project ang mga to para hindi naman po talaga maapektuhan araw-araw yung mga residente po doon sa barangay na yun.
Tanong ko pa rin, saan kayo kukuha ng pondo? Wala na sa item yan ng 2026.
Yeah, yes, Mr. Chair.
So how will you deal with it?
Ito po is going forward sa 2027 onwards, Your Honor.
In the meantime, bahain na muna yung mga taga-Bulacan.
If I may, Mr. Chair.
May,
Mr. Chair, actually, we will have to confer with DBM. We have savings from 2025, and we intend to
Ang savings
those
ninyo nasa mga
savings.
50 billion.
Tama po,
This is
Mr.
according
Chair.
to Secretary Vince
Yes,
Dizon.
Mr. Chair. Ang issue lang po namin,
Anyway,
Sorry.
as per Supreme Court ruling, di ba? Yung executive, within the respective offices, executive, legislative, judiciary, pwede silang, or even the constitutional offices, pwede mag-realign from savings.
That is correct, Mr. Chair.
So, tama, you have to deal with DBM and the President eventually. So, para ma-realign, para magamit dito sa mga project na nakatiwangwang.
That is the
Thank
intention,
you,
Mr. Chair.
Senator Win.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I'll jump to another topic. Narinig ko kanina sa DOJ na meron ng 5 cases that were filed. Is that correct?
There are 2 cases, Mr. Chair, that have been filed and been forwarded to the Office of the Ombudsman. This was filed with the Sandigan Bayan. And there are 3 cases which are going to come out within the week po.
Okay. And then how many cases were already filed
Bale,
with the appropriate courts?
there are 2. There are 2 already, Mr. Chair. These are the ones filed with before the Sandigan Bayan.
Okay. And that includes the one against Mr. Saldico.
That is correct, Mr. Chair.
Anong update na ho kay Mr. Saldico? Nasaan na ba ho siya?
Well, ang information po na meron kami is that yun nga, nasa Portugal daw po. And I think the Secretary of Justice has committed to undertake measures to coordinate with the appropriate agencies to try and find ways and means to track him and bring him back, sir.
So what are the concrete steps that the agency is doing in order to bring him back and hold him to account?
Well,
Ano yung mga konkretong hakbang na ginagawa na po ng inyong tanggapan?
well, there is, of course, sir, yung cancellation ng passport of Mr. Saldico and the, I think the move to request the PCTC for the issuance of a red notice as against Mr. Saldico.
Okay. And meron na pong let's take it one by one. Meron na pong communication ang DOJ sa PT is it the PCTC, tama? The Philippine Center for Transnational Crime. Is it the DOJ who will...
It will be I believe, Mr. Chair, it will be the Office of the Ombudsman that will be making the coordination. As far as the cancellation of the passport, it will be done as soon as the case is raffled already to the appropriate division.
Na-cancel na ba ho yung passport? Ang unang tanong.
Ay, hindi po. Ang passport po kasi pwede lang hilingin yung pag-cancel niya kapag halimbawa pong na-file na sa korte at nakapag-issue na po ng warrant of arrest ng husgado.
Diba ho mayroon ng na-file na case sa Sandigan?
I'm referring, Mr. Chair, to the case of the department.
Yes.
The case that was filed, I'm not privy to the case that was filed by the Office of the Ombudsman. But you're correct. There is already one that is already pending before the Sandigan
I'm talking about the case filed by government.
Yes.
In this case, para regardless whether it's Ombudsman or the DOJ, I know that you are coordinating and working cohesively to get those people back to the country. So yung mga cases na-file na ho sa Sandigan, di ba ho?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
At na-cancel na ba ho yung kanyang passport?
Yung passport niya...
Filipino passport. The
Yeah,
Filipino
yung Philippine passport niya has been cancelled already. This is with respect to the case filed by, again, I have to make that distinction, filed by the Office of the Ombudsman.
Okay. And ano pong complication na meron ho siyang, I believe, narinig ko sa news, meron siyang Portuguese passport? Tama po ba?
Yes, that is what we heard also, Mr. Chair. Ang nagiging problema ho kasi natin, the challenge here is that we do not have an existing extradition treaty with Portugal. And therefore, we have to look for other avenues by which we can try to get him back. This notwithstanding, meron ho kasi mga instances like, for example, if I may cite the case of former Congressman Teves. When he was in East Timor, the Philippines also did not have an extradition treaty. But through our Department of Foreign Affairs, we communicated with the Timorese government and we were told to take the track, which is to file one, just the same. And that's what we had to do just to start off the effort to try to get him back. So, posible rin pong mangyari yan ngayon dito, no, na kahit na wala po tayong extradition treaty, kung magkasundo po at yun po ang ibigay na guidance sa atin, yun po ang susundin ng ating bansa.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, go ahead.
With the permission
Senator
of
President is recognized with the permission of Senator Gatchalian.
Thank you very much. There is a variation, and we would like you to look into this and study the possibility. What if there is a legislative warrant? A legislative warrant of arrest for any person abroad who is in a country who is a member of the IPU, the Interparliamentary Union. Is it possible to execute the legislative warrant? And can it be used? Through the IPU. Can you study that possibility?
Yes, we will do that, Mr. Chair, Mr. Senate President. We will look into this and see if it is possible to take that route, no, instead of going through the more tedious process of an extradition.
No, the person will be forced to appear and submit to the legislative warrant of, say, the Philippine Senate.
We will do that. We will heed the advice of the Chair and the Senate President.
In fact, that was the move that the government undertook in the case of Ms. Alice Go. Si Senator Risa is very familiar with that. In fact, Senator Risa was the chair of that committee when she issued the warrant. Yun ang ginamit ng Indonesian government through their Interpol to bring her back to the country. Nagamit ho yun. So, but ang importante ho, merong notice na sa Interpol. Meron ng hakbang tayong ginawa. Meron na ba hong ganun na ginawa ho tayo sa
Meron na
Philippine
po.
Center for Transnational Crime?
Yes, Mr. Chair, the coordination was done and the request was made by the National Bureau of Investigation
Okay.
to the PCTC.
Meron na bang na-issue mga red notice or the other notices?
Wala pa po kaming, I do not have that information right now, Mr. Chair, but I can verify that with the NBI as soon as after the
I
hearing.
won't go into the details no, because
Opo.
of the sensitivity of the case. Pero ang gusto ko lang humalaman, meron na tayong hakbang na ginawa para ma-alerto na po ang Interpol at gumalaw na rin po ang Interpol sa iba't ibang parte. We don't know actually kung nasaan siya. No? Iba't ibang parte ng mundo.
Meron na po tayong hakbang na ginagawa. Ang hindi ko pa lang po alam kung ano na po ang naging tugon ng PCTC and up to what extent no action has been taken to try and implement the red notice. So we will verify that with the NBI and the PCTC, Mr. Chair.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, if I don't know if I have more.
Mr. Chair, Secretary Rolly,
Yes, Secretary Toledo.
yes, we just received message from our colleagues from the DepDev, okay, as far as the RDC process, Mr. Chair, that they have already the regional plans, which is 3 years already, and the RDC budget hearings will happen February to March. So that's as far as consistent with our budget call calendar, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for the information, Secretary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe I still have 3 minutes. This is my last question, Mr. Chair, and gusto ko ma-take advantage po yung presence ni former Secretary Bonoan na nandito. Secretary Bonoan, nabasa niyo na po itong affidavit ni Yusek Bernardo?
No, Your Honor, I have not.
Hindi niyo ho nabasa ito,
Nabasa.
pero this was furnished to us during one of the hearings ng Blue Ribbon at na-implicate kayo dito many, many times. No? And let me just read. On page 18, sometime in 2022, Secretary Bonoan directed me to submit a list of projects for possible inclusion in the NEP for fiscal year 2023 worth around 450 million. And in the same page, Engineer Alcantara gave 10% of the value of the projects. In page 19, similarly, on 2023, Secretary Bonoan directed me to submit a list of projects for possible inclusion in the NEP for fiscal year 2024 worth around 150 million. Engineer Alcantara gave 15% of the value of the projects. In page 19, in the year 2024, Secretary Bonoan also directed me to submit a list of projects for possible inclusion in the NEP for fiscal year 2021, 900 million. Tapos, in page 20, the value of the projects that I handled for Secretary Manny Bonoan was at least 5 billion per annum for the years 2023, 2024, 2025, with a 15% average commitment. Of this 15% average commitment, Secretary Manny Bonoan, 75% usually would give me 25% of the commitment, with the rest of the commitment shared between him and Secretary Cathy Cabral. And in one of our budget hearings, I believe kinumpute po to ni Chairman Senator Lacson and Senator Kiko Pangilinan, ang SOP na napunta sa inyo is worth 2.25 billion pesos since 2022.
Well,
Ano po ang masasabi niyo ho dyan?
I think, Your Honor, I think this is something, well, I think I issued a denial on this at one point in time when I learned about, I have not read the entire affidavit, but I issued a denial to it. I don't even recall actually talking about any projects at all. If there will be proposals from them, I just,
No, but this is very clear na meron kayong allocated amount
No.
at nagsasubmit sila ng project sa inyo at binibigyan kayo ng kickback.
wala ho ako.
10%, 15%, and pag sinuma ho natin lahat yan, aabot yan to 2.2 billion pesos.
This, I completely deny, Your Honor. I don't have any allocable amount.
Mamaya, pagsasalita namin si Congressman Leandro Libiste.
Opo.
And I think he will negate what you just stated, na wala kayong allocable. Kung hindi man allocable, baka non-allocable. Pero meron. Anyway, sige.
Well, Mr. Chairman, whether allocable, non-allocable, nakakuha kayo ng kickback.
Wala po.
And the fact is, nandito tayo ngayon dito sa hearing because for the last 4 years, pinabayaan yung nangyayari to under your watch. You're the Secretary of
for
the
3 years, Your
DPWH.
Honor.
O 3 years, 2 years, 3 years. Secretary kayo ng DPWH. May mga ghost projects. May 20-25% nangyayari sa ilalim po ng inyong opisina. Kaya ako ho, personally, ako naniniwala po ako dito eh. Paano ho isang secretary palalampasin nyo itong nangyayari sa atin? Kaya ho tayo nandito sa ganitong sitwasyon ngayon eh.
Your Honor, as Secretary of the Department, I have general oversight. I have general oversight of all the implementation.
Pero kung kasali ho kayo dito sa mga kickback, yung oversight na yan, walang kwenta ho yan.
And this is what I deny, Your Honor.
Ano nyo, hindi ko ho makita. Sa Bulacan, sa Davao Oriental, may ghost project. Lahat ng kasama nyo, alam, in 2025, na kickback na nangyari. Kayo lang hindi nakakaalam eh.
Your Honor, I was the one actually who reported to the President where the ghost projects are in 2025.
Nung pumutok na ho to, nung nag-privilege speech na Senator Lacson dito
Hindi
sa
po.
Senado. But throughout the years na pumupunta ho kayo dito, wala naman kaming naririnig na may problema. Kasi in my opinion, kasali ho kayo dito. But anyways, Mr. Chairman, I'm just echoing my frustration as a Filipino, Mr. President. Nakaka-frustrate, no? Na nandito tayo ngayon, pinakikinggan natin to. Dapat ang pinakikinggan ho natin kung paano po umunlad yung bansa ho natin. Pero dahil po sa inyong masamang liderato, nandito tayo ngayon. Inaayos ho natin. Hinahanap po natin sino yung mga kriminal. Hindi pa ho natin mahanap dahil nasa Portugal na nagtatago. Bakit niyo ho pinabayaan? Yun ang aking sentimento. But wag na ho kayong sumagot. I don't expect you to admit that, but I'm just airing out my frustration, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Maraming salamat po.
I just want to take exception kasi sinabi nyo, ang trabaho nyo as DPWH Secretary, oversight. I cannot accept that because hands-on kayo, secretary kayo. I cannot imagine Secretary Dizon exercising oversight function over his own department. So kindly correct that because that is not correct.
Your Honor, What I'm saying is actually, as secretary, I exercise overall supervision, authority,
Not oversight.
and oversight, because I also
Sabi
rely
niyo
on
kanina,
my people.
ini-impress nyo, oversight lang kayo.
But,
I
Mr.
also
Chairman,
rely-
as secretary, you exercise control.
I
You have control over the department.
Yes, Your
All the
Honor.
way to the last janitor.
Yes, Your Honor, but I also rely on my people under me to cooperate, to do the job that they're
Secretary, 3
supposed
years,
to do.
365 days, nandoon kayo. Wala kayo naririnig 25%, 20%. Kami naririnig na ho namin yung pumuputok na ho siya. Anyways, again, I'm just airing out my frustration as a Filipino. Talagang, alam niyo ho, the chairman talagang frustrated rin. Kasama ko yung mga ibang mga kababayan natin. Napakasama ng loob sa mga nangyayari. At imagine niyo ito, nangyari ito sa ilalim po ng liderato ho ninyo. No?
Tinuturo nyo mga subalterns ninyo, mga subordinates. Are you thinking ahead? You're planning to invoke the Arias Doctrine? Mabuti nandito yung DOJ. Mukhang anticipate nyo na kung ano yung defense ni Secretary Bernardo, Secretary Bonoan. Mag-i-invoke yan ng Arias Doctrine.
Your Honor, what I'm just trying to say is actually, in the hierarchy of the department, of course, I exercise overall supervision, no? But I have also undersecretaries under me, assistant secretaries, regional directors, and
Ang point ko,
district
Mr.
engineers.
Secretary, parang you're thinking ahead. Kung sakaling nasa korte na, yun ang i-invoke ninyo.